Namaskar. World Bindi Day, a day of celebrating womanhood, culture, dignity, and universal creation. The Hindi word Bindi is originally derived from the Sanskrit word bindu, meaning point, draw, dot, or small particle. Bindu is the point at which creation begins, and as such represents the cosmos in its unmanifested state. Bindi is beauty with dignity, and this is why few NRIs together started this initiative 2 years back and chose first day of Navratri, a 9-day celebration dedicated to the goddess Durga, every year to celebrate World Bindi Day with the song I Am Bindi, which is also available on social media handles to make reels and flaunt your Bindi with style. This year, World Bindi Day is organized by Hindu Heritage of America. I wish you all Shubh Navratri and welcome all the audience with our panelists who represent women from various walks of life, are self-made, and are role models for this generation. I'm very excited and glad at the same time to be sharing the screen space with these ladies who not only practice and flaunt the culture, but have the scientific reasoning behind doing so. With this, I would like to welcome all our guests, our audience, and also our first guest, Chetna ji.
My name is Chetna Wilson, and I am a student event coordinator in Tennessee. I started wearing my bindi daily a little bit over a year ago, and it makes me really happy to see this World Bindi Day initiative because it's that the practice of wearing the bindi has been declining for a while now, and I think we've all taken note of that. This, of course, is due to several reasons, like people taking the bindi to just be some fashion accessory, having no spiritual significance. They're forgetting, the health benefits of it as well. And people are unfortunately targeting Hindus negatively for wearing the bindi. So it makes me really proud to see other Hindus across the world wearing the bindi today and every day. To me, this shows our resilience and strength together. Wearing the bindi makes me feel proud, but it also makes me feel loved. Because when I put my bindi on every day, I think about Ishvara and Devi. And to see their symbols reflected on myself really puts it into perspective that there's a much bigger purpose as to why I wear it. And I feel very loved in that moment. And I'm reminded that the bindi holds a value that's never able to be taken away from us because it's bigger than all of us. And in the bindi, I see the love that Ishvara and Devi have for all of us, and I see that our love for them is reflected back. And how could I say no to wearing that proudly? How can I deny Ishvara and Devi that? So for me, wearing the bindi is a privilege and a duty. And for all those reasons, I do think it's true that when they say a face with a bindi is ever more beautiful than one without. It is for all of these reasons that I have decided to promote World Bindi Day across my campus. I am the faculty advisor for the Hindu Students Organization at the University of Memphis. And so I hope to see all of the U of M Hindus tomorrow sporting their bindis, and perhaps we're beginning to wear them every day, ever more proudly, remembering its significance and why it's important that we do this for Ishvara and Devi, not just for ourselves.
Thank you, Chetna ji. This was awesome. Thank you so much for such a sweet talk and the conversation. Thank you. We'll move on to Sahana Singh ji.
Namaste to everyone. It is a pleasure for me to celebrate my bindi with all of you today. And also let me wish you a happy Mahalaya, Shubh Mahalaya, because this is the beginning of a very auspicious period called the Devi Paksha. So to introduce myself, I was born in Mysuru in Karnataka. Well, right now I'm in Ithaca, New York, close to Cornell University. We are here for 2 years. To tell you a bit about myself, I studied engineering. Then at some point, I gravitated towards writing on water issues, and then much later to writing on history, Indian history. I have recently authored a book called Revisiting the Educational Heritage of India, which was published last year by Vitasta. So in my book, I've talked about how modern knowledge actually has its origin in India. India was the place where people came to study, came to get their higher education. And it was the place where the best universities of the world were located. And it was the place where you would find the best gurus to teach you all the subjects that were important at the time, whether it was mathematics, whether it was medicine, art, music, anything. Students were vying with each other to come and study in India. Now, coming back to the Bindi, the World Bindi Day is what we're celebrating. The Bindi has been a very important part of my identity right from the beginning. But in the early days, I wore it more because I thought I looked good with it. And I saw that my mother, my aunts, all the ladies, when they wore a bindi, it used to enhance their beauty. And Monica showed that very beautifully in the video, that the promotional video that you made for this World Bindi Day. So she came without the bindi, and then she put the bindi on, and we could see the difference.
Thank you.
So later in life, I came to know what the bindi really means. I came to know about the Agnya Chakra, which is a chakra between the brows, and how it is like it is considered the third eye. And then the significance hit me very hard. We have our two eyes, which are looking outwards, which are perceiving the outer world. And then we have the third eye, a very subtle thing, which nobody can even make out that it is actually an eye. And this helps you to look inwards, and it is the seat of intuition and self-awareness. So this is the place that we put our bindi, we touch it every day. So of course, not everybody who applies the bindi has developed the subtle power of the Agni Chakra. But if we become aware of this, and when we apply the bindi every day, then perhaps one day we can explore this at a deeper level. Now, so the thing about Hinduism is that all those daily mundane practices that we do, eventually when we grow more mature, we realize the profundity of all these things that we do. So whether the bindi is one such thing that happened with me, things like a book falling on the floor and then you pick it up and you touch it to your forehead, all these things, they have a profound meaning behind them. So this is how I see that Hinduism links the routine to the profound with all the time. Coming back to the bindi again, I link it with knowledge all the time, because there was an understanding in India that we have two kinds of knowledge. There is a lower knowledge and there's a higher knowledge. So most of the things that we call knowledge today or education actually deals with the lower knowledge, whether it is physics or chemistry, biology, anything. Even at the most advanced level, in our understanding of Sanatana Dharma, it's actually at a lower level compared to transcending the physical and understanding the Paramatman, which is considered to be the higher knowledge, to understand the whole creation, the whole universe. So, but of course, we still have to study, get proficient with the lower knowledge in order to transcend it. So that brings me back to the Agnya Chakra. So when the Agnya Chakra is activated, it helps us to realize that there is a higher knowledge that we have to aim for, we have to aspire for. So the bindi is far more than a dot on the forehead. It reminds us to seek higher knowledge all the time. I also want to highlight that what we call as bindi today is the plastic bindi that we apply is traditionally not really the bindi that was being applied across the generations. That was what we were using was kunkuma powder. And that's what my mother and my aunts, they still use today. They don't use the plastic bindi. So that kunkuma powder or the vermilion powder has turmeric in it, haldi, and it is given a color, the red color, it is treated. So that is the one that we are supposed to apply between the brows on the Agnya Chakra. But of course, for convenience, we all use the plastic bindi. Just wanted to mention that. So let's try and get hold of some kunkuma powder, good quality kunkuma powder, and try to use it on the auspicious days. So once again, wish you all a very happy World Bindi Day.
Thank you so much, Hana Singh ji. This was very informative and very enlightening. Thank you so much. So next we'll move on to Jolene ji. Jolene ji, can you hear us?
Namaste, namaskaram from South Africa. My name is Jolene, and I'm, Sept. Yes, we have load shedding here. Let me try to reconnect another way. Sorry,
Sure.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
me
but
now?
your video is paused.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now
okay.
it's clear. Yes, now it's clear.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Now we can hear you and we can see you moving also. This is better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, we are having power cuts in South Africa, so we are struggling with connectivity down this side. Okay, let me start, but all over again. So, Vanakkam, namaste, namaskaram from South Africa.
Namaste.
My name is Jolene. It's such an honor to be part of World Bindi Day again. So I was not born into Hinduism in birth in this lifetime. I was born into one of the Abrahamic religions. And I was blessed that Kaliaman called me to Sanatan Dharma a few years ago. So it is a huge honor for me to put Bindi in the morning. And actually just to be part of Sanatan Dharma, I have an awareness of how blessed I actually am. So I put Bindi every morning. I use kumkum, and I put it in the morning after my morning devotions and my japa. I put it on whether I'm staying at home, whether I'm going out, whether I'm going to work, whether I'm going to exercise. I actually don't feel dressed unless I'm wearing Bindi. So there are, obviously lots of reasons we wear it. And I think some of what I'm going to say is going to overlap a little bit with what Sahanaji said. But for me, the two aspects I wanted to highlight today was Bindi is a reminder of our connection to the divine. And then also Bindi is a reminder of our connection to the community. So we know as Hindus that in truth, our nature is divine and not physical. As it says in the Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna says, the Atma, the soul, is never born and it never dies. But as beings who are born into human bodies in this physical world, it's not always easy to keep that top of mind. Our focus is so often, and maybe most of the time actually, outward and on the physical world, not on the inner world, because that's the way, that's part of our lives in these births. But we put Bindi in the area of our Ajna chakra. So over that energy center of our body that is not concerned with looking outward, but that is concerned with looking inward. I know that it's Ajna chakra, sometimes called the third eye, sometimes the eye of intuition, because it doesn't help us with seeing the world. It helps us in our perception of the divine. And so, as Hanaji said, linked to wisdom, spiritual awareness, spiritual connection, and spiritual intuition. So when we put our Bindi in the morning and we press on that area, we're pressing on a pressure point that's activating, connected to our pituitary gland, but that is physically activating and stimulating that chakra point. And then wearing it during the day intensifies and draws energy to that chakra area. But for me, it does something else as well, that every time I see myself in the mirror during the day or reflected in a window or wherever, and I notice my Bindi, I'm reminded that what I'm seeing is not actually the ultimate reality. I'm reminded that this me that I'm seeing is not really me. It's just me in this body, in this life. And every time I have that reminder, I also have a reminder to keep my eye on God and not my eye on the world. And it's also, yes, it's a powerful reminder through the day of Kaliyama that she is with me all through the day. But then for me, it's also a connection to the Hindu community. The sense of connection, I think, is very important for all of us. But as I said, having lived most of my life outside the Hindu community, it is incredibly, incredibly precious to me that I can feel part of this community. And since I've been thinking, how much, so many of our devotional activities are obviously private, but I've been thinking how much is actually communal, and how Sanatana Dharma is so wonderfully communal in nature. And so wearing Bindi is an outward sign that we have the great blessing of belonging to this community. And maybe this is a uniquely South African thing, but very often strangers, other Hindus, will greet me when they see me and they notice my Bindi in the supermarkets, in a nursery last week, sometimes even in traffic in the car, people will do pranam and people will greet me in a traditional way. And it's really special to have that feeling of connection, living in a country where Hinduism is we are a smaller group of people in South Africa. So to kind of have that connection when you're really not expecting it is amazing. And it also gives me a chance to share a little bit of the beauty of Sanatana Dharma with people outside our community, because again, maybe this is a South African thing because we are incredibly friendly people, but people will often stop me and ask me what the significance of it is and why I'm wearing it. And we're not looking to convert people to Hinduism, but I do think there's a lot of misunderstanding around Hinduism. And if we want the world to be a kinder place, especially for our children, than it often is for us, then it's really great to grab these opportunities to educate people a little bit and to answer people, because a lot of people have questions on Hinduism, and I feel great when I have the opportunity to answer those questions for them. So yeah, I think I could say that Bindi is not just part of my identity as a Sanatani, but Bindi is part of my identity as a person. So thank you again that I could be here today, and wish everyone Shubh Navratri and very happy Bindi Day.
Thank you. Wish you the same, Jalinji. Thank you so much. This was very encouraging. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to Usha Nirmalaji.
Thank you, Monica, and namaste to all. I really thank for the great knowledge that my co-panelists have shared. A little introduction about me. My name is Usha Nirmala. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I'm a venture capitalist by profession. My husband is an intensivist. I have 2 kids, an engineer son and a 10th grade daughter. That's a little about me. I'm quite a passionate Hindu and love to know about our Sanatana Dharma and the values that we all come from. So I would love to stay and understand the roots of our Dharma. A few thoughts about the World Bindi Day. I believe the journey of a girl from the girl to a womanhood as a Hindu is incomplete without the adornments of the Bindi or Sindoor. Also, Bindi or Sindoor is acknowledgement of our worship in the Hindu women folk, which is quite evident in various visual media these days. Sporting a Bindu declares that we are proud Hindus and depicts our faith in our culture and religion. And it also carries a cultural significance, like other co-panelists have shared, significance and the legacy of centuries for the women folk. Sporting a Bindi also adds respect and dignity to the lady in the society. A Bindi also has a deep significance and a scientific reasoning, and enhances the power of your Ajna Chakra to bring in various health benefits. Also, as a style statement, a Bindi adds to your oomph. It goes well on all costumes, and it's diverse like India, adding amazing variety to a vanity kit. So Bindi also adds a lot of zest and color to our life, and that is one more important reason as to why we all love to wear Bindi. And it's also unlike the chemical makeup, which is very, very natural. And like my co-panelists were sharing, unlike nowadays we're all wearing the plastic Bindi. Maybe we all should go back to the kumkum, which is very, very traditional in nature, and it has got a lot of health benefits. And as they say, no one looks ugly with Bindi. So why should anyone hesitate to sport one? And on this World Bindi Day, I would encourage each one of us to start wearing the traditional kumkum. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha Nirmalaji. This was very enlightening. Thank you very much for your time. Now we will move on to Sumedha Ojaji.
Namaste. I'm so happy to be here with all of you, and all of us are wearing bindis. I will just point out that I am wearing, and I always wear a kumkum bindi, and I love putting it on with my hand like that every day. So I live in Switzerland. I was, before my current avatar of a writer, I was in the Indian Revenue Service in India, and I have worked as a bureaucrat in the United Nations. And now I'm a full-time writer and web series maker. I write historical fiction. It's a series called Udnabi, published by Roli Books. And I also write popular history, and I just translated the Ramayana in 2016. So from my bureaucrat avatar, I came into my author, historian, speaker, and cultural activist avatar. So I will don my historian's hat and speak a little about the symbol of the bindi and how far we've seen it in sculptures, paintings, etc. in the past. So as Monica had started this whole hour by saying that the bindi is the symbol of the unmanifest, that from which all creation appears. So life, mind, matter, everything manifests from that. So there are trigun, there are tridev, there's a triangle, and there's a center, a bindi, a bindu in between. And that is what we put over here. There's another very interesting symbolism to this. The body is placed in a cosmic rhythm, which goes like this. So it's a series of concentric circles, and we are right at the center. This center again becomes the bindi. And this concentric circle symbol is found in the Indian subcontinent for at least 4,000–5,000 years. So we have a number of representations of these symbols. I don't know whether you would like to just see a couple of paintings from cave number 10 at Ajanta near Aurangabad. So there are paintings with women wearing bindis. Also, if you go through the research or the origins of the dress of women, so there was something called the sitara. That sitara was also placed over here, but it was not always made either of kumkum or of sindoor or of plastic as today. It was often precious jewels. For example, you would place a round sapphire over here, or you would place a round ruby over here, and it would be called a sitara. So you look at sculptures from the Mauryan, Gupta, Satvahana, or whichever period, and you will find the sitara over here. So that's how long back this whole practice of putting a bindi goes. There are also certain figures from Mehergarh, the Harappan, the Saraswati Sindhu civilization, which seem to be sporting the sindoor and the bindi. So much for the symbolism of it, and so much for the history of it. Today, I think for me, the bindi means pride in myself, my own identity. I live in Switzerland in a sea of foreign people. So the minute I wear my sari and put my bindi, I assert my identity. I assert my identity proudly. And not aggressively, but, one amongst a whole diversity of people, I would also like to be seen just as anybody else is seen in their own identity. And living in a country other than India, I really identify with someone who just said that she is living somewhere where there's a small community, and she would like to be seen. So, I'm in the same position. In India, I'm part of the whole crowd. Here, I'm part of a small community, and everywhere that I wear a bindi, it makes me feel happy. I love the Shringar part of the bindi. See, Shringar is one of the Navrasas of our civilization. And the bindi to me absolutely epitomizes Shringar, beauty. It epitomizes romance also to me. Spirituality is always there because, again, like someone else said, I also put it every day after my puja. So it's the whole package. In one little dot, you get the whole package. You get the spirituality, the real life, your identity. So people, everyone who's watching this, start wearing the bindi again, whether the kumkum or the sindoor, remember, which comes from the sindoor tree. And from burnt turmeric comes the kumkum. So wear all these proudly and smile when you wear a bindi.
Thank you so much, Sumedha ji. Thank you for sharing your energy with us. And this was very, very beautifully described by you. So thank you. Now we'll move on to Vandana Sharma ji.
Namaste, sabhi ko pranam. What a beautiful, beautiful women here, and thank you for such good information from all of them. I don't have much to add because whatever I had to say, they already said. So I wanted to say that there's a pituitary gland behind it, and when we put our dot, I would just say something special that I'm an artist and I work for Hindu Pact. I'm a media director there, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, you will get the updates on what all we are doing in the United States. And Sahana ji, follows me and I follow her, so we are in touch. In United States, we do get bashing about wearing bindi. But I'll tell you, when I was a child, since then, I thought, just like what Sumita ji said, I thought that my mother looked beautiful in it, and I couldn't wait to be, grow up a little bit and wear saris and wear bindi. I just love wearing saris and bindi. So you see my enthusiasm for that. And the red is a color of manifestation. So when you wear a red, a lot of people wear like black bindi. I don't think that's a good thing to do. Or maybe for nazar, you can put somewhere, behind your, ear or something. But for the pituitary gland to manifest, see, pituitary gland and your matha, your forehead is where all that, work. It's like a desktop of your brain. This is a whole computer. This is your desktop. So you're thinking, your RAM. So when you're thinking, you're manifesting. So, and every artwork also starts with a dot. So you have to, even if you have to create a line, you have to start with a dot. So you're creating something for that day. And if you put that roli or your whatever, like your kumkum or your whatever, the velvet bindi, if you do with Gayatri mantra, whatever you have thought for the day, I get so energized actually when I do puja. Just like I couldn't even contain my energy. I stay up all day. Sometimes I get so much energy to do so much work even at night. I wanted to add, so it's just so much thrill wearing a bindi, wearing our culture, flaunting it, looking beautiful. That's all I have to say. Happy World Bindi Day.
Thank you, Vandana ji. This was beautifully described, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and experiences with us. With this, once again, World Bindi Day, the song I'm Bindi, sung by our own Shweta Pandit ji from Indian Film Fraternity, is available on YouTube as I'm Bindi song, and also on social media handles to make reels and flaunt your bindi with style. Our presence can be found on social media handles using @WorldBindiDay. This year, World Bindi Day is organized by Hindu Heritage of America. I wish all of you Shubh Navratri, and thank you for all the panelists and audience for joining us and gracing us with your presence. Namaste. I think for the recording part, it is all good. Anandji, you're there? Okay. Ladies, I'll quickly check with Anandji if he's available, and then we can call it a day.
I see him on he's available.
I think he didn't expect it to be over so quickly.
The recording is still on.
Yes, he'll be editing that just in case if he wants us to repeat something, then it can come in the same recording and then he can edit it.